Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to look at the Islamic conquests. But first, a quick reminder to subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. The Islamic conquests were a series of military campaigns that took place in the 7th and 8th centuries AD during the early period of Islam. The rapid expansion of the Islamic Caliphate from its origins in the Arabian Peninsula to encompass vast territories across 3 continents is one of the most significant events in world history. This was a time when new technologies, strategies and tactics revolutionized warfare, and in this video we'll take a closer look at some of those developments. The Islamic conquests are generally divided into 2 periods. The Rashidun Caliphate, meaning the rightfully guided, which lasted from 632 to 661 and saw the Muslim armies conquer much of the Middle East, North Africa and the Iberian Peninsula. And then the Umayyad Caliphate, who ruled from 661 to 750 and expanded the empire even further into Central Asia, Persia and France. The conquests were driven by various factors such as the desire to spread Islam, economic gain and the pursuit of political power. So let's start with the Rashidun Caliphate. After the death of Prophet Muhammad in 632, the Muslim community, or Ummah, was led by a series of 4 caliphs who were chosen by consensus. Abu Bakr, the first caliph, faced many challenges, including rebellions against Muslim rule. However, he appointed military leaders known as Sahaba, companions of Muhammad, to quell these rebellions and expand Muslim territory. One of the most notable Sahaba was Khalid ibn al-Walid, considered one of the greatest military commanders in history. Under his leadership, Muslims defeated the Byzantine army at the Battle of Yarmouk in 636, securing control over Syria. This victory opened the doors for further expansion into Iraq, Persia and Egypt. By the end of Abu Bakr's caliphate in 634, Muslim armies had conquered vast territories from the Arabian Peninsula to the Mediterranean Sea. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph, continued the policy of expanding Islam through military campaigns. He appointed generals like Amr ibn al-As to lead Muslim forces against new enemies. For instance, Amr ibn al-As conquered Egypt in establishing Muslim control over the important trade routes between Asia and Europe. Umar also faced nomadic Persian tribes known as the Khazars who posed a threat to Muslim expansion into Central Asia. Despite these challenges, Muslim armies under the Rashidun Caliphate successfully extended their rule into Afghanistan, Pakistan and parts of India by the mid-7th century. The third caliph, Uthman ibn Affan, focused on consolidating Muslim rule over the newly conquered lands rather than further expansion. During his reign, the first official standardized Quran was compiled, and efforts were made to improve governance and administration. However, discontent grew among some Muslims due to the distribution of political power and wealth. These tensions would eventually lead to the first major crisis in early Islam, the First Fitna or Civil War. Ali ibn Abi Talib, the 4th and final Rashidun Caliph, faced numerous challenges, including the civil war and conflicts with the Byzantine Empire. Despite these difficulties, Ali continued the tradition of appointing competent military leaders. For example, he selected the general al-Hasan ibn al-Numan to lead the Muslim conquest of the Sasanian Empire's former territories in Persia. Al-Hasan successfully campaigned in Persia, securing Muslim control over the region. Similarly, another general, al-Khattab ibn Amr al-Kindi, played a vital role in expanding Muslim rule into Central Asia, defeating the Western Turkic Khazars and Sogdians. This military success under Ali's caliphate demonstrates the effectiveness of the early Muslim system of appointing qualified generals based on merit rather than lineage. It also highlights how the conquests continued during his reign despite the internal conflicts. By the end of the Rashidun Caliphate, Islam had spread from the Arabian Peninsula to Central Asia, North Africa and the Iberian Peninsula. Now we'll move on to the Umayyad Caliphate. After the assassination of Caliph Erdaya, the first fitna came to an end with the emergence of Muawiyah, the first Umayyad Caliph. Muawiyah shifted the capital from Medina to Damascus, which became the center of the caliphate. During his reign, the Muslim focus shifted from expansion into Europe towards consolidating control over existing territories and securing the vast borders of the empire. Muawiyah faced several threats, including rebellions by various groups, such as the Karagites, who were dissatisfied with the caliph's authority. To counter these challenges, Muawiyah implemented administrative reforms and strengthened the military. He established a standing army and created a new military hierarchy. This reorganization aimed to ensure greater control and efficiency within the armed forces. Following Muawiyah's death in 680, his son Yazid I succeeded him, but his extravagant lifestyle and religious intolerance sparked a second civil war known as the Second Fitna. The conflict ended with the accession of Abdul Malik ibn Marwan as the third Umayyad Caliph. To prevent future civil wars, Abdul Malik implemented measures to ensure a smooth transition of power by clearly outlining the rules of succession. He also focused on stabilizing the empire and enhancing its cultural and economic prosperity. During his reign, the Dome of the Rock was built in Jerusalem, symbolizing Muslim control over the city and its holiest sites. The next caliph, al-Walid, continued his father's policies and is remembered for his contributions to art and literature. His brother Suleiman succeeded him after a brief interregnum, initially facing opposition from Berber tribes in North Africa. Suleiman later crushed a rebellion led by the Abbasid princes, who were descendants of Muhammad's uncle, Abbas. This conflict marked the beginning of tensions between the ruling Umayyad dynasty and the Abbasids. Hisham ibn Abd al-Malik, the last Umayyad caliph, confronted multiple challenges, including the rise of the Abbasid revolt, attacks by the Frankish king Charles Martel in the Iberian Peninsula, and the emergence of a new threat from the north, the Slavic Bulgarians. Despite these challenges, Hisham managed to suppress the Abbasid uprising, although the revolt would continue intermittently for the next half-century. Hisham also successfully defended against the Franks, but he faced setbacks against the Bulgarians. By the end of the Umayyad Caliphate the Islamic world stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the borders of China, encompassing vast territories in 3 continents. The conquests had profound impacts on the course of world history. First, the rapid expansion of Islam led to the creation of a vast multicultural empire that facilitated the exchange of ideas, goods, and people between different regions. This interconnectedness contributed to the development of a common Muslim identity, while fostering cultural diversity within the US. Second, the conquests resulted in significant advancements in science, mathematics, philosophy, and literature. Muslim scholars and scientists built upon the knowledge of previous civilizations, preserving Greek and Roman texts and making original discoveries. This intellectual flourishing occurred due to the cosmopolitan nature of Muslim society, which attracted scholars from diverse backgrounds. Third, the Islamic conquests also had a lasting impact on warfare and military tactics. Muslim armies employed innovative strategies and technologies, such as the use of cavalry and light infantry, as well as siege warfare techniques. Their emphasis on meritocracy and military appointments allowed talented individuals from various backgrounds to rise through the ranks, contributing to the effectiveness of the armed forces. Fourth, the conquests also led to extensive missionary activity as Muslims sought to spread the message of Islam to the people they encountered. This missionary zeal resulted in the conversion of numerous individuals, including prominent figures like Khalid ibn al-Walid, who played significant roles in the expansion of the empire. Fifth, the Islamic conquests had a profound impact on trade and commerce. As Muslim control over key trade routes increased, it facilitated the exchange of goods between Asia, Africa, and Europe. This economic prosperity contributed to the growth of cities and the development of commercial networks. Finally, the conquests also led to the adoption of Arabic as a lingua franca, facilitating communication across the vast empire. Arabic became the language of administration, scholarship, and trade, contributing to its preservation and development. That does it for our video on the Islamic conquests. Please remember to subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. Thank you for watching.